Stop.
You have raised up to say yes.
Let me ask
the
you.
next callers that
No.
will
I'm sorry.
and debate.
Mr. Francis, I want to ask you a question. My boss built this place. There's Joyce on radio. My boss, yes, has structures, but Joyce is building mind. Do you suppose that I'm less than my boss if I don't have
the money
as he does?
Joyce,
No. That's a yes or no.
12 o'clock to 3 o'clock.
Yeah, I'm building minds. My boss is building structures. I am building minds.
You are building your phone, and you know. But you want.
Hold on a second. I am building.
From 3 to 6. There are many of you people.
No. I'm asking you a question. My boss built structures. I am building minds. Who's less?
You are less.
All right, thank you.
The caller doesn't have an argument, just like one of the listeners right now sent a message, one of those watching us live.
Hello,
he doesn't have an argument. Have a good argument, please. We're not debating potatoes and bananas here.
Hello, good afternoon, Joyce.
Good afternoon. Welcome. Tell us your name real quick. You have to go ahead as Lords of Logic.
Yeah, it's Madulua from...
All right, real quick. Go ahead, honey. We don't have all the time in the world.
Yeah, patriarchy is a real problem.
Okay.
But, it wouldn't have bothered me as much because I'd never seen men as threats. Mm-hmm. But, you kind of get a chill runs down your back sometimes when you see what women do to one another. And I can't convince myself that women are not the pillars sustaining patriarchy. Because there is nothing that can stand for so long without a woman being there behind the scene, in front of the scene, in the middle of it somewhere. So I believe that if we want to do with patriarchy, we need to do house cleaning as women. We need to do housekeeping as women. We need to know how to deal with the women that betray us.
So you think that the reason patriarchy is a problem is because women are betraying other women?
Exactly.
All right, then.
As long as women are not, raising sons rather than it's deliberate. They raise sons rather than raise men. So that they can have some daughter-in-law who will come and bow and worship them.
All right.
And if she doesn't, they instigate their son to,
All right, I get it.
Many examples like that.
Very concise. Thank you very much.
I'm not concerned about the men who are...
All right, that's a good one. Mr. Frank called the show before you came in to actually thank me for what I was doing. And then called the second minute to say that I am less. So the next time he thanks me, I'll tell him to shove it.
Okay, I'll do that with you.
Hello, welcome to the show. Good afternoon to you. Hello, welcome. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Turn up the volume of your radio set. Turn up the volume of your radio set. Turn up the volume of your radio
Thank you, Joyce. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you. What's wrong with patriarchy? Tell us your name.
Everything is wrong with patriarchy. My name is Oluwafemi.
Good to have you here.
Thank you so much. Really. Start with, I think the first NASA journey to space, right?
Last year, if you make it back, we're here, the sunny side. Welcome, my name's Joyce. What's wrong with patriarchy? Okay, so I gave you okay, good then. So I'm telling you, for example, the caller who said that I am less, it would mean that if he had daughters, even though he claims to be a great man, and daughters came out of him, then he is a less human being for having daughters come out of him. Meaning that if less comes out of you, then the assumption is that you are less for less to have come out of you, because only what is inside of you comes out of you.
Let me read one of the messages.
Sure.
Joyce, this is my take. Mary conceived Jesus, underwent the antenatal wahala, yet Jesus' lineage was traced from Joseph to Abraham. That is patriarchal for you. My lineage, Mary lineage, wasn't considered here.
Yeah, that was because the people who wrote the Bible were patriarchs.
Oh.
Well, thank you.
It's the thing is, men feel a bit threatened when we talk about this. We're not talking about undermining men's influence in the world. We're talking we're not talking even about it's their right to own lands and to decide on so many stuff. I mean, of course, we're talking about, isn't partnership better than patriarchy? I know many women who have suffered so much just because of patriarchy. They haven't had their say. They have had very tough divorces because the man gets everything. They haven't gotten their share. And this affects the kids just because the man is the man. That's what we're debating here. This blind way of doing everything, it has to go through the man. Of course, things have to go through men the same way they can go through women. That's what we're trying to get to here.
Yeah, and so I'm giving you a very, very practical situation, and do me the honors, give me a superior argument. If a man claims to be superior and he gives birth to a child, then we're assuming that the female is weak. If a female child comes out of him, then the female is weak. That's not good
news for him.
Yeah, so meaning that if weakness comes out of him, he is as weak as that which has come out of him. In fact, he is weaker than that which has come out of him, because by biology, anything you plant multiplies. Give me a superior argument.
You know, sorry, on a funny note, if you think of biology, which is my field, as you know, you've got men who have the XY chromosome.
Yeah.
We have pairs of chromosomes, and one of those pairs defines our sex.
Okay.
One of the pairs for men, how do we know that we have a girl or a boy? It's XY, and for women, it's XX. The Y actually is the weakest chromosome. It barely carries any genes if you think about it.
Oh.
So actually, if you think of the genetic pool, but that's just on a funny note.
You know, it's funny because I've heard this before.
Yeah. The Y is actually the weak chromosome. That's what they call it, because it doesn't carry as much as the X.
All right, so if you have a biological superior argument, sure.
But that's not what we're going to use to tell men. No, I'm just saying for men who think they're superior.
I don't even. So remember, the element of the show is not to say that the men are weak.
Definitely not.
My position is
we want strong men.
We need. Of course. In fact, the reason Nigerian society is like this is because of the men. I feel what we're seeing today in society is a function of what is obtainable in the home. This is what's happening in our homes. We have subjected women to the degree to which that even him who is the subjugator has become a product of that which he has subjugated. So in Igbo parable, for example, the Igbos say, "Onye jim madunala, jonwe," meaning that when you hold a person to the ground, you also hold yourself. So, if you check it in practical terms, any man who feels that his children are great, you need to see the pride in his eyes. Yeah? Yeah.
They keep on referring to the Bible for you.
Who's that?
Most of them, like the women were not mentioned in the Bible.
But women not being mentioned
in religion.
Yeah, but you see, even if we use religion,
back then things were different. Back then, women didn't even work. Now women work.
Good.
It's evolution.
Good.
And Jesus has nothing. I mean, I'm not talking religion here, but there's nothing wrong with evolution.
Okay.
Things were different.
The Bible
back
never
then.
placed women in the same place as men. Why did good? So the problem here is that the men who wrote, in my own interpretation, the men who wrote the Bible were for certain mentality. Remember that paganism actually had to merge with Christianity in a lot of the Christian doctrines. And I told you can read it. The goddess Aphrodite.
Yes.
Good. She is of a pagan doctrine. And in her mythology, it's documented that women are supposed to be quiet. It's in your history. Read it. But do me a favor. You have read just the Bibles. I've read occult books. And in occult books, women are not subjugated because she's the other half of the whole. So to suppose that the Bible's position is law, then I'm asking you, if it was law then and it's changed today in many other cultures, then it's not truth. It's only perspective and practices that people have chosen. So let's go to the telephone lines.
Such is the interpretation of religion as
well.
well.
If a man is strong, his children should be stronger. That's my logic. Hello, good afternoon to you. Welcome to the show.
Good afternoon.
Welcome. Tell us your name. You go ahead.
Yes, Lokwe.
What's wrong with patriarchy?
Nothing.
All right.
Yes, the truth is nothing.
Okay.
Go ahead, make your argument.
You are just taking tiny men that are successful. Yes, because I want to copy one guy that was interviewed by British GQ. I think you must have seen the interview. He said something. Most victims of violent crime are men. Most people who commit suicide are men. Most people who die in wars are men.
So,
most people in prison are men. What do you have to say concerning that? It's as if the way he said it, he defined it. Women take time.
Sorry, help me. Women take timing?
Yes, when I say take time, as in little men compared to the
tiny
majority. Yes, I'm talking of men that are successful, men that are dominating. You understand, or you don't get the point?
Oh no. So you say that the men who dominate are few.
There are few. And you people you just generalize it as if men. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking of those feminists that are wicked.
You know what? Let me ask you a question. Forget what we said. You're married?
I'm not.
All right. I hope you get married. I hope you get beautiful babies just like you. All right. Let's say you get a boy and you get a girl.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you have some lands. You give them all to your boy, nothing for the girl?
Why would I do that?
There we go. So you are against patriarchy.
No. Hello,
this is it. No, I mean...
No. Hello. You are judging it that way. No.
Okay, but so this is one way of looking at it. I gave you the simple example.
If I give a land to my daughter, that means I'm against it. No.
Yeah.
That's not it. No.
Oh, what does it mean?
Okay, but you know that patriarchy, by law... Can I finish?
Painting to the world.
Hold on. Hey, it's a lie. No, don't ever
Please,
say that on my show.
Can I finish?
Well, excuse me. Stop. Just to look
Go ahead.
In Nigerian cultures, and in
Lebanese cultures,
land is not given to women.
Exactly.
Yesterday on Instagram, a woman was burnt. In fact, they said she was dismembered and burned because she asked for her father's property.
Unless the men are really good and they do an exception.
Exactly.
But usually by law,
hold on, Jason.
Women don't get anything.
Please.
Check your facts.
Okay.
This is not a show against men. This is discussing what is wrong with some of the cultural practices.
Okay.
I am Igbo. Many people from where I come from don't believe that property should go to the women. You are the one who is telling us yes. So don't say this is what we are propagating to the world. That's an insult to my intelligence. You're suggesting that I am propagating something deliberately against the truth.
No, what she asked me is what I'm saying.
Yeah, but what she said is the truth.
Hello. She's talking about me now. Me.
No, all right.
I'm not talking about you. She
said, I get it. And then she said, then that means you don't support patriarchy, because one of the things of patriarchy is that women don't get land. It's even in the Bible, until Moses went to ask God that these two girls said that their father died and he has property, but culture don't give land to women. Moses went to ask God, what should I do? Thank God that Moses went to ask God, because according to patriarchy, he's supposed to tell them this is our rule and we don't give land to women. But Moses felt, let me go and ask God because I might not know everything. When he went to ask God, God said to him, they are right, or they are correct.
Well, thank God you said from your part of, let me say.
There are many cultures, not just Igbo culture.
From where I am, from where I come from, I'm talking of the West right now, the Yoruba. I don't know if that goes like that.
Yeah,
but what I know, it is maybe you people's culture. You understand?
Yeah, but you
cannot generalize it to all cultures.
Good.
In
So
Nigeria.
what Carla said is that then you're not necessarily a patriarch in that sense. You don't think that your daughter doesn't deserve landed property
from our own
from her father. From her father.
Men, we give women land.
Thank you.
From our own part.
Well done for you. Well done for you if you do that.
So
we applaud you.
So she asked you a question. Based on the answer that you gave, you're not a patriarch in that regard. The one who thinks...
okay.
Good. She asked you a question. Agree. From the answer that you gave, you are not what the conversation is about.
You're one of the few who think
understand
fair.
What I'm saying?
Is it. We're supporting you. We're not attacking you. Don't think we are supporting you. All right?
They no born anybody well from my side. If I give land to my daughter and you want to...
I hope so.
That's the topic.
Well done for you.
Good.
Well done for you. Thank you.
Ooh.
Thank you. So what's my place here, Joyce? Some people are asking why I'm part of the conversation.
Well, we have a guest in the studio, and Carla is a co-presenter today on the show. Welcome. If you have just tuned in, it's Lords of Logic. Do me a favor. Give me superior arguments. Don't argue sentiments. Don't argue what your ego infuses or tells you to say. Just give us something that's better, for or against.
Here's one of the listeners. Joyce, speak on. You are speaking my mind. My husband said behind successful man there is no woman, that he succeeded by his own and not with my help, and I want to go, and he said if I go he will make life miserable for me. If you like it or not, we are having problems because women stood up and said it's enough.
Oh, okay. So her husband thinks that she didn't make any sacrifices for him to be successful. And now that she wants to go, he's saying to her, if you leave, you're going to suffer.
We're not attacking men. Once again, we're giving opinions based on patriarchy, and how well it would work in today's world once again.
So again, I told you before the show started, if something was right yesterday and it's no longer applicable today, then it's not the truth. It's only a function of human choices.
Exactly.
So I can choose, for example, look, if a man says, for where I come from, a woman must kneel down, which is pretty much where all of this emerged from last week. A woman must kneel down.
Yeah.
If you meet another woman from the same era who believes that she must kneel down, I don't have a problem.
If she's okay with it, go for it.
If she's okay with it, I don't have a problem. But this is what I'm asking you to look at, that the times are changing. Now you are meeting women who don't want to kneel down. So it would mean that what was true then is not true today. So it cannot be called the truth because things are changing. Philosophies are changing. Cultures are changing. Welcome to the show, The Lords of Logic. My name's Joyce. What's your name?
Joyce, you said I called and I was commending you. Yes, because you are doing a very nice job.
Mr. Francis.
Yes,
I do not need.
Not Francis.
Oh, okay. I don't need.
I have to commend you for
No. Don't commend me anymore. No. It's useless to me. It's useless. If you think that I am less, then your commendation is useless to me.
Here's a definition. Good afternoon, Joyce. The dominant.
Carla, the way leave Joyce. Let we and Joyce do our thing. We know how we do our thing.
Mr.
I don't think you have a thing with her going for now.
You want to bring your own argument, bring it so that
Mr. Francis, we have to give other people an opportunity to speak.
And we don't have problems.
Mr. Francis, we have to give other people an opportunity. Do you understand? Can we give other people an opportunity?
I know.
Thank you.
Don't want to play my
So
I don't want your compliment.
That
Thank
there is
you.
never a day
You're not listening. Oh, stop.
So here's
you
a
don't
message.
You don't have an argument.
Here's a message. Good afternoon, Joyce. The dominant, he's quoting, the dominant ideology of patriarchy is a system of society or government in which men hold the power and women are largely excluded from it.
Well, thank you very much.
Refocus here. Exactly.
Yeah, thank you very much. So, if we're going to highlight that, and I said that earlier on, it's the masculine domination. The masculine domination, where the male is largely dominant because the assumption is that the male is more powerful. We're live streaming on Instagram. Joyce Unyemua on Instagram. WhatsApp? You please go
Shall
ahead.
I? Yeah.
Absolutely.
So this is something I think we all need to listen from. Adesina Ayangtoyinbo from Tabo Ijoko.
You try.
All right. Good day, Joyce and Carla. Men who defend patriarchy don't have any other basis for argument other than religion. Whereas religion doesn't actually allow deeper thinking and equity. Something is wrong with patriarchy, and this is affecting men, yet we keep bragging about it. For me, partnership is better than patriarchy.
Well,
I wouldn't have said it any
All right,
other way.
great. Good then. 99.3 Nigeria Info, you're making a case for or against what is wrong with patriarchy. And do me a favor, give us a superior argument. Yeah. Nigeria Info, the sunny side. Hello, good afternoon to you.
Hi, Joy.
Welcome, good afternoon. Tell us your name.
Yeah, my name is Gabriel.
Welcome, Gabe.
Yeah, I think I am having an issue here.
Okay.
You understand? The spelling of the patriarchy, because I think I demand to learn more than argument.
Oh.
So I just wanted it so that I can do my research here. Understand?
So you can just Google patriarchy and patriarchal ideologies is the domination of men where women are excluded. Yeah, and I tell you one, for example, in your cultures.
I'm getting different reactions.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to try and rephrase what I said earlier on. All right, thank you. Sure, thank you. 99.3 Nigeria Info. The telephone lines are ringing. Women, please give me 1 minute. This is to accommodate our listeners who have just tuned in. 99.3 Nigeria Info. My name is Joyce. We have a guest in the studio. Her name's Carla. She's here Thursdays, 2:30 to 3. She's on Instagram, Balance with Carla. But today we're not doing health. We're doing social philosophy. And the social philosophy, that's the topic today, is what's wrong with patriarchy. And one of the fundamentals that I think I've noticed when it comes to patriarchy, for example, particularly for a caller who doesn't understand, is that society believes that the man who has a son, for example, is the one who has someone who carries his name on. And the reason, for example, why men want sons is because they feel like that's where their power lies. Yeah,
they have to take everything.
Good. So, and if you check, your cultures give, regard to the males. They raise them, in a weird way, where the men eventually sometimes end up realizing what's better, make better decisions, and sometimes, they become the arrogance in society. But some are real good, and others is just a function of how they were raised, and they don't know any better. Okay, so here is my thinking. If a man is great, and this is one of many instances, but I think you can readily relate to this one. If a man is great and something comes out of the man, that which comes out of him is greater. Meaning that if there are two men, one Shagun, one Philip. Philip has 2 daughters. Shagun has 3 sons. According to your social logic, the man who has sons is better than the one who has daughters, because that's what you mean when you minimize the woman in society. So even the man who has the arrogance of, I'm a man, once you give birth to daughters, because that which must come out of you is you. When you plant corn, you get corn. When you plant tomato, you get tomato. If that which comes out of you is you, and you say your daughters are weak, and then you give birth to daughters, you are less than the man who has sons. Now, you must admit that in spite of your arrogance or what society tells you that you are. So if this position is wrong, then it must mean that the supposition that masculinity, in it lies power, is false. So to assume that, my son is where I gain power, is where I gain relevance, then that would be false if we do not agree that the man who just has daughters is useless because he doesn't have sons. 0700-993-993-993, 01-465-7190. The Lords of Logic, Joyce and Carla. Carla's on WhatsApp.
All right. I don't have the name though.
Okay.
I and my wife own a property and she has 80% input. I am Igbo. And by culture, I should be the one deciding everything. But I don't do anything without her input. Bravo to you. Patriarchy is a tool used by weak men. Sense is better than power.
Should we buy him coffee?
Honestly, this guy.
So this is what I was trying to highlight earlier on. That your culture, or what we see today in culture, is also a function of choice. For example, the WhatsApp message we just got is an Igbo man whose culture tells him about domination, but he has chosen that he doesn't want to dominate. Instead, he wants to be a partner in a venture called marriage. That's one perspective. If you disagree with the supposition that the man who has a daughter is weak, then you must give me a superior argument. 99.3 Nigeria Info, the sunny side. Hello.
Hello.
Good afternoon to you, Nigeria Info. What's wrong with patriarchy?
Okay, being patriotic.
No, not patriotic. Patriarchy, the domination of the male.
Okay, I think it have always been like that.
Yeah, what's wrong with it?
Right from immemorial.
Yeah, what's wrong with it?
There is nothing so peculiar about that. For
Nothing wrong?
In Edo State, more than 40% houses in the entire Edo State are owned by women. So the Edo people do not discriminate against women, except when it comes to ministering culture, ministering ways.
Okay.
Cultural, like the Benin, monarch, and the rest.
Okay.
But in all, God said that man is the head of the family.
Okay.
And Jesus is the head of man.
Under what conditions were given where the man is the head?
Yeah, the man was first made before the woman.
Just because he was made first.
That women should be treated as queens, and for the fact that they are weaker vessels, because one rib was taken only out of men to become a woman. A woman is a complementary power towards a man.
All right. Thank you. Thank you very much.
I have Tony from Sagamu. In Yoruba land, it's only the males that can occupy the position of Olori Ebi, head of the family. Okay. No female can occupy this position.
Okay, so now that's is it possible that position can be teetotaler? Teetotaler. I think that's the word. Totaler? I'm going to come from... No, so it's like a figurehead. So, for example, in in the Bible, that there's a situation where Pharaoh said to Joseph, I'm only a king on the throne. And then he gave Joseph, for example, dominion. But Joseph was said to have been a slave who came to the land of Egypt. So basically, it's possible that you can have the office, but not have the brain or the power. Do you understand what I'm saying? So you can be boss, but not necessarily be an intelligent boss, so that the people who make you good are the people who are working with you, something like that. So the Olori Abi, for example, a person can occupy it, but not necessarily have the wisdom required to function over other people. So that's what makes power contestable.
It's like back in the days in China and in England and in France, I suppose, there were those kings that were children. They were 6, 7, 8, but they were placed kings because they were the last of the lineage, and the dad died or the uncle died.
But someone else was running the country.
So they actually put them kings, but they're incapable of ruling.
Of judgment.
But they actually put them because they're males.
Yeah, and someone else is running the country.
But these days are long gone in Europe.
Well, let's see. Nigeria Info, what's wrong with patriarchy? It doesn't mean that something is wrong with it. It means that you might have a superior argument for or against it. Hello, Nigeria Info.
Hello?
Turn off the volume of your radio sets. Thank you very much for calling. My name's Joyce. What's your name? Can you hear me? Okay, you must turn off the volume of your radio set. This is Nigeria Info. Hello. The volume of your radio set. Thank you very much.
Hi, Joyce.
Hello, good afternoon to you. Welcome. Hello, welcome. Tell us your name.
Amos.
Welcome, Amos. Go ahead.
My name is Amos.
Sure, go ahead.
Okay. For me, I think the example you are using about properties and all that some tribes don't give their female
property,
children land and all that.
Yeah.
Yes. I think in the West, in the Yoruba land, all those things are fast going away.
Okay.
Maybe due to education.
Okay.
And all that. So I think the places they are still practicing that, they have to work on themselves, because that is not happening. My first child is a girl.
Okay.
The second is a boy. And if I have anything, it goes equally to the two of them.
Oh, okay.
Do you understand?
Okay. Well, thank you very much. Okay.
When it comes to leadership or men dominating and all that, for me, I think it is a way the world is structured.
Okay.
You understand? Because for me, I feel even when let's use Nigeria as a case study.
Yeah.
Okay. In all the republics we have had, like from Ekweme time, Shagari and all that, you discover that even the one that is number one is not as sound and educated as the number two.
Okay.
But he still occupied that position. You understand? So God has designed it in a way that a man should be the leader. Whether you have the power or you have the knowledge to lead or not.
Yeah.
You understand? You lead.
Okay, hold on a second. Hold on now. You see that place you are, please just stay there. So now you're saying that God designed the man to be the leader, whether he can or not.
Yes.
Do you understand what it means to have an incapable person in a position of authority?
No.
Because you see, pardon me, if you justify it, no, sorry, Mna, please, I'm going to allow you in a minute. If you justify an incapable person because of what you think his sex assigns, then you cannot blame the government of this country. In fact, the next time you call Nigeria Info and you complain.
I will explain to you why.
Okay, go ahead, real quick.
Well, the way God designed life is that you should support each other. If this one is sounded this way, you are meant to assist the other person.
Okay.
Because even the dullest person has something to offer.
Okay.
So if you, the wife or the woman, you are smarter or you are more clever, then you support your man.
Okay, hold on. Let me ask you.
That's why it's designed.
Okay, good. So let me ask you. You have you have a business you're running. You have a son and a daughter.
Yes.
Your daughter is more business inclined. Your son wants to be a DJ or probably wants to do internet something. Who do you hand the business over? Who do you give the business to run? Why?
No, that's it. Yeah, because in that aspect, she's son, and my son wants to be a DJ and all that. So obviously, I will let him.
So
his way.
Can a woman be a leader can a woman be a leader if she's more competent?
Well.
No, I wanted to. No. Excuse me, Amos. You cannot say in Africa, because it seems as though the dumbest things are working in Africa. And so look at it. You want the privileges of European nations. Don't you? You want the reason you're shouting good Nigeria is because you're looking at other countries. Why aren't you satisfied with Nigeria? It's because there are countries that are working. So if you know that it's a competent person that power must be given to as a human being, then you think your God would insist that an incompetent person be given power? I'm asking you. Okay, you don't need to give me an answer. You can think about it. Take a moment.
You're right there.
Okay, well, we went somewhere with that. Because...
So...
Well, you want to read WhatsApp? Yeah. Because, think about it. You're saying that God created it so that the man would have power, whether he can or can't. The risks involved that you have someone in power who can't and to even think that you can justify it is you know what? Let me share my shock. If you can justify it, then you cannot complain about Nigeria. You can't say that there's something wrong because you believe that an incompetent person should remain in power. Then you cannot complain. It's something that you believe. You want to say something?
No, I totally agree with what you just said. Yeah, in response to the guy who mentioned how he lets his wife be involved in his property decision.
Okay.
So someone else replied, see, that's the thing. Once it's in your favor, wow, let's talk about it. But him, coffee. But when it's men, you're edgy. His wife owns 80% of the property. That's not actually what he says. He said she has an input on 80% of the property. That doesn't mean that she owns it. And if you don't see a problem with it, if it was the other way around, it would have been a different conversation. So he's saying, like, why don't we have a problem with his wife having 80% of an input? But if it's him, then we would have a problem.
Look, there's nothing wrong with the man. So this is what
She doesn't own it. Sorry, I'm going to interrupt.
Okay.
I'm rereading what he said. Me and my wife own a property. So it's a partnership. She has 80% input. I am Igbo, and by culture, I should decide everything. But I don't do anything without her input. That doesn't mean, once again, comment on that.
So this is what I want to say. The problem in marriage is not who owns what. It's, in my opinion, I think it's a lack of love. The reason our marriages are broken is a lack of love.
Trust.
Now, what is the love? Love is submission one to the other. In fact, Christ said that you would love your wife as Christ loved the church and gave his life for it. The only reason that verse is not popular, as much as you have popularized subjugation, is that the requirement of giving your life to someone else as Christ did is an impossibility for you. So every time is brought up, you kind of douse it because you don't have the capacity to give of yourself as has been required of you. But so you insist that the woman so really what you're saying is that the woman whom you would love is the one that has to not know that Bible verse. That's really what you're saying. That she cannot demand of you what Christ demands of you. I'm going to do one more conversation before we go off on a break. Hello, good afternoon to you. Sorry, I lost you. The Lords of Logic, what's wrong with patriarchy? Hello. Can you hear me? I'm sorry. I think I'm going to do a woman. Hi, good afternoon. What's wrong with patriarchy?
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Real quick, tell us your name. You go ahead.
Okay. I want to remain anonymous.
Real quick, honey. We don't have forever.
Okay. What I want to say is this. I'm not judging Mr. Frank or anything. But what I want to say is, if he wants to be sincere with himself, thank God, God will bless him. He will have male and female children. The way he relates with his wife at home, if someone else relates with his daughter outside, as in marriage now, and he sees someone intimidating, I did
Hold
not
on.
say...
Off on a break.
Including the current president of Nigeria. I've tried but failed to remove...
We witnessed 4 epic battles from 8 phenomenal debaters.